up so I can click the tab.
First of all, who the hell is SK? I'm yelling SK a lot in here.
So I think SK is from he is from the Actually Agent server. Okay, so the content I'm talking about, I'm going to use a reference, Jason Cassidy. I'm sure you guys all follow him. He is a great follow. He's had these edits recently that are banging. You might have seen one of his ads. At least I have, because I'm in SoCal, so I saw one of his ads. But he does something. He has these interesting hooks, and he does this hyper local content. Like you could see taco shops in San Diego, dog beaches in San Diego, and this. So this is the type of content that I aim to help you get at. So for instance, he ran an ad that was like this. If you're seeing this, it's on purpose. I'm looking for a buyer of mine. Her name is Haley, blah, blah, blah. And he talks about the city she's looking in. So he ran that as an ad. And let's real quick, pay attention to that intro and kind of how it goes together. So you have the phone pop up, bunch of transitions. Then you have these things going. So basically, I'll dive into it in a second, but I'm going to give you a tip. So also, for instance, let's say you do this Zoom thing keeps popping up. Okay, let's say you right down here. I'm going to show you Alex Hormozy. Look at this. Here's this paper pop up. Okay, let's rewatch that real quick. The paper came up, Warren Buffett, something like that. You could do, like, let's say it's a town hall. Let's say you really like that edit. That's something you can do. With mine, for instance, I did these words with this hook. So that was something new I tried. Then I had this pop-up with the leads. So really the goal of this is to do those type of edits, but I talk about it a little bit in the ebook and I'll talk about it now. It's not trying to plagiarize someone and copy it completely and do it A to Z. The point of it is if you look at my saves, like I'll go in, each one of these videos, I'm always trying something new. So that is like, I'll piece together multiple portions. Like if you really liked this taco shop intro, maybe you go do something on pizza and you're in New York. Like maybe you go do something similar to that. You save it, you index it, and eventually you'll be able to train your editor as you go on and give him portions. Like I'll dive into it. There's 2 SOPs I usually give my editor. The basic one, the one that he has to follow at every video. He has to go through it, make sure that this is the bare minimum. Then I have intricate edits. So if I want a specific edit that I saw and I thought was cool, I'm putting that together. And I'll show you examples. I had a rushed, this video I just made, my editor made this yesterday. I kind of rushed it to get this out to kind of give you a real example. But like this is new. I copied this somewhere. This is also new. And then the ending, I'll let it go through in a second, is new. And these were all from different forms of videos that I pieced together. So it's a little bland, but give it a second. Like this, my editor put together by himself, that like animation thing. He's really good. But right here, this, I took some from someone else. See how it's kind of floating? So that was 2 different things. That hook I took from somewhere, some video I saw on Instagram and thought was cool. And that end I took. So you can have the principles. And if this sounds like a lot of work to you guys, it can be, but you also have, like I said, you have 2 levels to it. You have the bare minimum, which I give you guys. Then I also give you the insight to kind of create your own unique feel, your unique vibe. And so that's the type of videos that I'm talking about. And before I move on, was there any questions along that thought process?
So essentially you're just logging in and scrolling for a little bit every day and saving to a file folder in Instagram to save? Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm not purposely scrolling on Instagram to look for that, but eventually, you know, like I said, you'll start at the basics. I give you guys all the basics that you need to start if you want to go down this route and find an editor and kind of really level up the content side of things. You'll start with the basics, but eventually you'll be scrolling on Instagram and you'll start to see it through this lens and you'll save videos you think are cool. Eventually it'll start growing and you'll kind of get a hang of what's cool. Okay, like, oh, that hook really dragged me in. Like, I'm really excited to watch that. And you got to put a spin on it because it doesn't have to be related to real estate. Like I brought up Alex Hormozy and Jason Cassidy, but let's say I bring up Ali Abdal, if anyone follows him. He's really, I enjoy his stuff, but this guy has some really interesting stuff. Now he does like productivity stuff. But like, look, like, let's say you really like this hook with this paper, shift up right there. Like, let's rewatch that real fast. Boom. And it shifts up. Let's say you really like that. That's something you can copy over and kind of translate it into your own feel and your own style. And I'll dive in how I go about that with my editor, the way I kind of piece it together. But this is the downloadable that I put in the chat. This is up. Welcome to all you guys. It pretty much is going over everything I'm talking about, but makes it more step oriented. And I have a video attached onto it. So that's pretty much how you can make unique content, mash things together, and kind of view an eye for it. And this is something that is long term. You got to get, you're probably going to get your editor and find someone to work with first before you do, spend all this time researching content. Because I already gave you the initial step, which again, I'll dive into in a second. So that's content styles. I have a video down here, which genuinely just goes over the exact thing I just talked about. And let me show you my video. So when I mean, I'll go into a second. Here's the operating procedure I gave every one of you guys. So I have steps on captions, different safe zones. So for instance, you want your safe zones. You want your video to be edited in the safe zone because down here is the caption. Up here is where all the likes are. Up there is where a cutoff is for a grid. So this white space is where you want your captions to be and your face, unless there's exceptions to it. So I have a whole section on captions. This is the base level SOP, operating procedure, and a few different placement things, different styles I like. Then a section on the basics, which is a bunch of different things I like constantly moving, visual hooks, which is what you saw in my video when it was said, don't market without this. That's a visual hook because some stuff came in and the focus was on the red market. That brings you in and it brings attention back. So that's kind of trending now. You'll probably see it or heard of that word a lot. Then I got, just different things like instead of stock images, be creative, put bobbleheads on it. So that's just like different guidelines for my editor. Then you have all these editing resources I put together and then editing ideas. So a lot of these take ideation. My editor is luckily pretty good with ideas. And I kind of let him run with it. But here's some, I have an AI prompt that I put together for having it give you ideas if you want to work with your editor and kind of have him go, okay, so
hey Ryan,
what's up?
Sorry, your editor, is he the same guy filming for you? Is he someone you found online? Because I know a lot of people reach out to me having a hard time finding someone. So I don't know if you can give some ideas for that.
I'll dive into that in a second. I have a whole, the largest section on this is the hiring section. It is all online. I record at my desk with my camera, and then I give it to him in a format, which I'll kind of show you in a second. Which I hire overshores editor or offshores editors. It's more cost effective, but also it is something I pay my editor probably more than what you can get for. I encourage creativity and a bunch of these different things. I talk about that in the payment structure, but offshore, in my opinion, is the way to go. I've worked with editors that are US based, and for some reason, they don't like putting the effort into getting the videos to where I like them. Even despite how much I'm willing to pay them. So I'll go in second. And what I meant real fast, where was I? Okay, I was at the content styles, and in this video, like I said, I'll go over it, but I want to show you guys what I meant by the one time that you actually have to source content. Like you can just give your editor this right here, I put in the ebook, this entire sheet. You can just give your editor that. Your videos are probably going to be pretty good. But on the unique part, which I'll show you in a second, like I had that taking first steps, this is it. So I gave him the link to the raw footage. So this is what the raw footage looked like. It was just, I'm not gonna bother.
Exactly what you look like right now.
So, but anyway, I put my hook I had put on my script right here. So I like to script. You don't have to script. I also talk about in that further SOP if you're one of those people that can't script or do anything and you just like to go off the top of your head whenever you film content. There's tools I can turn that into scripts for your editor to make it easier for them to put the captions together. But for instance, when I want to try something new, this is what I mean. So I found a cool, let me turn that down. So I found this cool animation effect. You can see the floating book. It like kind of floats back and forth. So I thought that was really cool. So I put that in my one-off video, and you can see that in what he ended up doing. Instead of putting my lead magnet on it, he ended up having that floating effect with my call to action at the end of that video that I posted. So you can see it slightly floating. So that's me trying new stuff. Like you can, at the base level, you can have the cool captions. Like if you like just going on your filming a selfie and you just want to make sure some cool captions and some animations are on it, you're good to go. You just find an editor, disregard everything that I've said, just give him my editing SOP. And when I dive into it, find how to hire it, then just do the basics. You don't have to worry about that. But this is, like I said, this is just kind of, I like to make content that I enjoy. And if I don't enjoy it, I don't like making it. So this is me figuring out how I enjoy stuff. So any questions on that part? Good.
I mean,
and like I said, there is I did film like a 5-minute video. It's attached on the ebook, which just goes over exactly what I just said. So now I've showed you a little bit about my editing operating procedure that I give my editors. It's right here on the ebook. That is this document down here. It is the basics, goes over captions. You can mess with the fonts, do whatever you want. Just you're gonna have to go a little back and forth. Oh, and real quick, I want to touch on this, and this is a writer downer a little bit, is the reason this is so important is you could go to Jason Cassidy that has those cool videos, probably work with his editor. But editors that are already trained up are going to cost you $75, $100, $150. Some of those agencies cost upwards to $250 per like 60-second clip because all their editors are trained up. They already have the processes in place and they're giving it and they're packaging it and selling it at this higher ticket price. So I'm willing to bet on those Jason's videos or someone else's, they're paying pretty high premiums on this. And the reason that I like to start from the bottom is you can grow and kind of at a cost effective and grow, how you want to. It's most of these editors, they've just been doing simple captions, maybe some edits here and there. This kind of can help them bring them to the next level, which you can spot talent once you start hiring, and you can see my filtration process on hiring once I get into it. But I just want to hit on that is if you have unlimited money and you want to spend $150 per video, you can go to an agency. They'll hook it up. They'll have it plug and play. But if you want to be cost effective, you want to mess with it, have your own style, take this route. So now on that SOP, you can dive into it. I didn't really dive into it. It's pretty basic level stuff. Like I said, it's just captions, different edits, and things that make it look better just from raw footage. And then also, I did touch on this, but that SOP/operating procedure, I gave you a blank one. You can use that for anything. Like when I trained my editor, I had my editor, if you guys follow my marketing newsletter, I did one on email marketing, and I went really in depth on it. I had someone that was scraping me emails with property descriptions, doing cold email. I had this whole thing going on, and it was in this exact page. It was in a structured list of things that I needed to do. And I talk about it in the ebook a little bit. Is eventually after my 8th hire, someone came in, automated it, saved me a bunch of time and money, and I paid him pretty nicely for doing that. So like it took me 8 hires to get there, but he made it faster, more efficient, and cost effective. So it's like, to me, that's worth it. And when I say 8 hires, it's not like you're training 8 people. You're just giving them like you're giving them this and kind of giving them some guidelines, and you're just testing out the waters with them a little bit. So it's not like a full hire. I talk about it. I go contract to hire. So contract to hire means, you do one. Some of these people will do the whole thing for free, but contract to hire, you just do one iteration of it, see who you like best, whoever you like best, or the top 2, pick them, go with them, then figure it out. So is there, I'm gonna stop real quick. Is anyone want to jump in? Anything to add?
So are you sourcing most of your editors, like, to check them out through Fiverr?
I go Upwork. So Upwork. I mention it a little bit in here. You can use Fiverr. I like Upwork. So the reason Upwork is good is Fiverr and Upwork both have these things called projects. So if you go on there and search up video editor at the top, there's probably like a bunch of different packages. You can buy 5 videos for $150, or if you've ever tried to look at websites, you could search up projects. But the whole purpose of this is you got to make the job post, because that's where, like, those packages, usually you're getting a service that is done for you and you're not iterating it on yourself.
Right.
And they're also a little more expensive, and Upwork has a bad reputation of being more expensive, when in reality, I actually think it's cheaper. You just have to like make the post. But that, yeah, Upwork.com, Fiverr. And I've also seen people use Facebook groups, which is a little intricate, but like they'll jump into a video editing Facebook group and make job postings, and it's a little rough, but Facebook groups also. So let me say this. I think I said this to Christian. Have you ever tried to sell something on Craigslist, Facebook, and gotten a dozen spam messages, people trying to give you a cashier's check for your couch? Okay. Like, and you're just like, no, dude, I don't want a cashier's check. Like, I'm good. If you've ever done that, if you ever sold something on any of those sites, that is exactly what it's like hiring online. You're going to have 20 spam applications. So you have to give them hoops to jump through. People that want your job are willing to take the time to actually piece things together, fill things out. So that is what I talk about here. Is I'm jumping into the hiring section of this now. And that is pretty much going through making sure you are filtering spam applications and giving multiple people a crack at the apple, like I just kind of mentioned a second ago. That's the entire philosophy of my job hiring process. And then afterwards, you have your own, however you want to view it. So, and this is how I've structured it completely to any hire I've done. Any scraping, any automation, delegation, any task that you do repetitively, you can hire that out very simply for pretty cheap, and you just got to document what you do. And that's one of the reasons I like writing and putting all this stuff into paper, like the editing processes I do and the cold email stuff I do. The reason I like that is because eventually I'm going to have more hires under me, and it's going to be real nice when everything that I've done is documented. So that if you don't document what you do, no one else, it's like, what do they say? There's sayings about teaching where that's why books are endless or live forever, because a mind dies, but words stay written, something like that. I don't know what it is, but it is, you got to document what you do if you ever plan on hiring someone. Like, otherwise they're going to jump in, they're not going to know what the F to do, and they're going to just be frustrated. And also it helps you build clarity and depth on things when you write down and piece things together. You'll see it from a different perspective when you write. Just like when you journal your thoughts, I'm sure every one of you has journaled at least once. You kind of start to see it in a different perspective. So that is a big bonus of this stuff, is whenever you make a hire and put all this stuff in paper and write it down, now you got it. Your mind doesn't need to remember it. Like, you have it. So,
I love that though. It's so good, because if you have an editor that you like, that you're working with, and then he just disappears off wherever, whatever platform you found them on. You've got it all written down and it's there and it's easy to pass along to somebody new.
Exactly. That's the way to do it, in my opinion. So that's one of the biggest bonuses. Like I think I mentioned in the beginning of this ebook and when I started talking was a lot of this is the principles. And by principles, I mean, this is like stuff you could use for anything. Like this is just base level stuff. It doesn't need to be editing related. And it's, in my opinion, an extremely valuable skill to be able to really document things, put things together, learn what it's like to hire someone, learn a little bit about payment. If yourself, I mean, look, that probably takes you, I'm sure the captions you could probably knock out in 15 minutes, but if you do it and you want some different colors and maybe you're trying to do this thing, like next thing you know, that's taking you 2 hours. Is that 2 hours? Would you rather pay $10 or spend 2 hours? And if you guys value your 2 hours less than $10, got a news flash for you. Go work at McDonald's because you get paid more. So like that's just kind of the thought process behind it. Now I'll jump in. So going through the hiring, kind of talk about the SOPs, blah, blah, blah. Contract to hire. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I like to give them everything. Like I have right down here, I have my entire job posting. Like you can see, I'll dive into it in a second. Just so you have something to walk away with. But contract to hire, this is the part that you find talented people. So past the 25 applications, half of them are probably going to end up being spam. Now you have 10 people, which now you want to figure out if they're good. So what I do in my postings, I give them everything. I give them my editing SOP and I give them the video that I want edited specifically with maybe intricate edits on that video. Now, I post that on the job description. They don't need to edit it until I pay them. So on those 3 to 9 people, you can either choose to pay them each 10, 15, 20 bucks. Some of them will not even want your money. They will just submit their thing with the payment. But I prefer to pay and spend that extra money to find someone that I really like. And again, sometimes some people will apply, like half of them will probably apply and edit the video for you without even wanting money. Like to this day, I messed up and gave them my Google Drive account. And to this day, I still get people sending me videos they edited for me from my job post on my Google Drive. So that you could pretty much do whatever, but that's how I view contract hire. Then you eventually find someone you like or you don't and you move on. You'll probably end up finding someone you like after 1 or 2 postings and kind of going through it. Again, it just depends what your minimum standard is. If you like, if you just want it like this or you want it like that, that's cool. Just grow with it. And eventually you might realize, oh, my editor, I told him to do this or had him try this out. And, I feel like he's just not that good at getting these final pieces together. And I'll talk about in the payment structure a little bit, how I help my editor kind of grow. Just go back and just start it over again. And it's kind of like it's not the lottery, but it's because you can dictate it, but it is definitely something you got to try and mess with. Like I mentioned, that scraping thing I did with email marketing. It wasn't until my eighth person that I did the contract to hire. And keep in mind, those 8 people, I found it was in 2 days. I just had made a posting, put 8 to 9 or whatever people all on one contract and just pretty much told every one of them, do it to the best of your ability. Tell me how long it takes you and what you think is a reasonable price point, and we'll go from there. And that was kind of that's pretty much what I said. And that was done I did that in 2 days because it took some time for them to piece it together. I paid some of them off when they were done and told them, hey, look, sorry, someone else I'm going to be working with, but I appreciate your time and whatnot. So that's how I view it. You could do whatever you want, and then I talked about Upwork a little bit ago. I mentioned Upwork on here. Okay, so to filter the spam applications, in this, I talk about it, but usually you just have them analyze something or fill out something. Like right here, I have them analyze this video and give me their top 5 takeaways. Like I gave them an Instagram account and I was like, hey, what are your top 5 takeaways from this Instagram account? Just so I know you're legit.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are legit have no problem doing that. It takes them an extra couple minutes and it's a good job and it could be consistent income for them. So they do enjoy doing that. Well, I wouldn't say enjoy, but they don't mind doing it. Now, yeah, so I talked about that 8-person. Yeah, eventually saved me hundreds of dollars and tons of time. Took 8 people in about 2 days.
So how much would you say you paid at the very beginning to try out all the different editors before you picked somebody that you liked? Like, were you like $100, a couple $100 into it?
Editors, I luckily found my editor pretty fast.
Yeah.
I would say on editors, I gave probably a little over $100, 115.
That's not bad.
Probably. And it's not that bad. I mean, if you really wanted to, if you really, really wanted to, you could have 8 different videos and try 8 different editors. But I just gave them all one video. And to me, like the editor I was able to find was worth $100. For sure. Like that 8th person, the scraping thing. So for instance, on that, I actually gave each person on there a different county and a different subsection. So it was valuable for me because every one of them did their own thing.
Yeah.
But that probably cost me, what did it cost me? Like, I think I paid $160. But I mean, each one of those was under my own guidelines. And then after $160, the 8th person was like, yo, dude, I could do this for you a lot more efficiently. And I have this idea. And I was like, go ahead with it. He put the idea together and it saved me tons of money, time, and he was able to do the job at a higher volume and he got it done. So like,
awesome.
You got to also rely on, like, these people aren't they're not like, to me, they're not like a dog. Some people view it like they're dogs. It's fucked up, but
No.
like they're people. You can ask for their opinion. You could go back and forth with them and be like, yo, like, what do you think of this idea? Like, give me your feedback. Like they're happy to help out. And especially if you're working with them. So in terms of like leadership and management, it's not like a full-time employee. You don't have all this stuff, but I talk about it a few times in here, but just be a good person. And some of these people will return the favor in helping you out and giving you some insight, because these people might be a lot more skilled in whatever you're trying to do. And in my instance, my editor is significantly more skilled than what I'm trying to do. So I can't edit for crap. I can put captions on a video. That's about it. I can't edit past that. I could see what's cool. I like that. So on my job description, I'm not going to read this off, but I pretty much just go, give me a bit of background. I have them do the qualification, 5 different takeaways from this Instagram account. Then I say, can you edit videos like this? You'll do 3 to 5 a week, whatever. So I'll dive into it in a second. Typically, those high edited videos, you'll be paying anywhere from like $15 to $50 usually. And $50 is on the high end. Like I usually pay, I give my editor a lot of bonuses because I push him to try and learn new stuff. So I'll talk about it in a second. Like I said, I prefer if my editor learns a bunch of new stuff. Like that's cool to me. And you just want to give them a range. And in here, I give them the SOP, the one-off video that I want them to do, because you got to give them a video to work on. And like I said, the one-off video SOP is, I don't know if I linked it in there, but it's pretty much I'll give you a link to this Notion. And if anyone hasn't used Notion, it's like a glorified Google Sheet /doc. It's what you're seeing right here. It's a free thing. And that's what I do my management. My editor has access to this. So this is where I have all my scripts, video stuff, my SOPs, even have I should probably not go to that. But I have my CRM, and I'll give you guys the topic is like that one-off video when you hire people, you can throw cool edits into this. Like, that's what I mean is you can test people out. Like, let's say you really saw that Jason Cassidy ad about finding a buyer, and you're like, I don't care if it's plagiarism. I am copying that introduction. I want that done. Put that introduction in here. Part of your job application is see if they can do that phone maneuver. Like, throw something in there that's intricate. Like, this is the only grunt work of this whole system, in my opinion, is being able to spot and like see like, okay, this is really cool. Like, I want to do this. Like, that's the hardest part. And you guys probably spent, if you look at your phones yesterday was Sunday. I mean, bro, your guys' screen time is probably over 100 or over an hour on Instagram. So like, come on, there's probably some video you thought that was cool. Just like, you gotta view it from that lens. And I'll go back. So yeah, like I give him my one-off video SOP, which is this, with my video attached. Then I give him my basic guidelines, the guidelines for everything. It's like the Bible, or the gold standard, I guess you could say. That is this, the gold standard. It is just the simple stuff, how I like the captions, the safe zones to make sure you're editing in the right area, caption placement, basics, just different things that I like, creativity, resources, and editing ideas. So this is my gold standard, and it's not a lot. Like, if I open all these, it's like 3 pages, not a lot. It's just like, just simple things to keep in mind for your editor. So I attach that with my job application. So there's 2 different SOPs. Then you have minimum. I like to say you'll make a minimum of X amount of dollars after the first X videos after you, as a learning bonus. So you don't have to do that, but I talk about it a little bit here. I prefer to reward people who think outside the box. That is my whole thing. Like, every person that I'm trying to hire, I want to be either creative. I want them to be creative. I want them to challenge my opinions and thought process on things. And I like to reward them for that, because I will not grow, and I may never know about this more effective system or this better thought process if I do not get challenged. Like, I need that in my life. So that's where I go in payment structure. And again, you could disregard this whole thing and do the basics, and you could just say, okay, this is how much you can make on each video. I want to edit it like this. I want to make sure that my face is followed in the frame, and I want to make sure that the captions are this color, and I want to make sure it has at least 3 pop-ups or like 3 B-rolls, like things. You could call it a day, and that'll take you not long. But again, I want to be challenged and I want to grow. So I'll kind of just read this off a little bit. But if you want someone to go above and beyond for you, you better go above and beyond for them when they deliver. Like that 8th person that put that together for free for me, paid him nicely, because I was like, damn, dude, 8 people. So that was real nice of him. Anytime my editor, I'll jump past this, but my simple payment structure is as follows: 15 to 45. I know I said up to 50, but he'll probably not pay that much. Like, I'll show you videos that I do for like $20. And the only reason I do that much is because it's kind of a hassle sometimes. But so I pay my guy like $15 for every edit they learn. Some people, they have a bunch of time and they want to grow as an editor, and they're just going to go ahead and do it themselves. And that's what my editor does a lot of times. He'll take time and learn all this stuff because that's what he does. But like, if I go to him and I'm like, dude, this edit is really cool, I want you to learn how to do it. And it's like me telling him to learn how to do it. It's not him coming across something and finding interest in it. It's me. So if it's me telling him, then I'm going to pay him extra. But if I give him a video and he goes out of his way and does all this cool stuff because he's interested in it and learns it, like, maybe I'll throw him a bonus or not. But again, that's dependent on however you want to view it. And then you also want to make it clear to them. Let's say you get a viral video, pay them handsomely. I don't have a price point for that. Whatever a viral video, if you get 200,000 views, what's that worth to you? Presented you a new idea you like, you throw him $15 if you want. Like my guy, he for instance, I mean, I don't know why this is in the way. I don't know how to bring this up. this is Zoom thing up here. I guess you guys can't see it. But like, for instance, my guy in one of my first videos, pay attention to this real fast. This video with the explosion on it. My editor came up with that, like that whole explosion thing. I didn't even ask, and he just came up with it and did something completely different than what I asked him to do. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I paid him extra. Like, he went above and beyond. I tell him, do what you think is cool. And I think that explosion is really cool. So, I'm going to give him a little extra and encourage activity like that. Like I make it very clear. I'm like, and any employee, I want them to challenge the way I think. So presenting you a new idea, to me, that explosion is a new idea. I gave him a bonus on that. Found a way to save you time. Like that 8th person, he saved me time and money. Pay them handsomely, whatever your time is worth. And then again, I said right here, do you think it's right? But I prefer to help the people around me. Most offshore editors get taken advantage of, which is very true. Don't be that guy. The work is already cheap. So you want someone who will be with you through thick and thin. And I shouted out my guy Z. He is my editor. He is an extremely cool dude. So
anybody that's trying to figure out who his editor is, we just have to start at Z.
You'll probably find him. Someone actually did find him, I swear. Someone in the Discord went through and found him through my connections, but you can find him if you want. He'll probably he'll let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing here. And that's how I hire, edit, and just do simple stuff. And again, it's pretty cost effective. If that type of video is not your style and you want to do YouTube long form, same principles apply. You can do right now on YouTube, what's big is that first 5 seconds of your YouTube video is actually a thumbnail on the YouTube feed. So it plays a little thing. Like, sure, if you guys follow Mr. Beast, I'm sure you have opened YouTube and been like, yo, what the heck just happened? You saw 6 explosions. Like that's like that stuff you can do for YouTube as well. You can put that into a process and be like, look, when I edit these YouTube videos, the content doesn't matter as long as it has a bit of B-roll and it's enjoyable. But at least the first 5 seconds, I want massive captions and I want an explosion or whatever.
Yeah,
like that's something you could do. And the principles apply on this whole thing. And what is this? I mean, this is 10 pages with a cover letter and a few call to actions at the end. So this is 8 pages, and one of the pages is the whole freaking job description. Like,
so awesome.
Not that hard.
Brian.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Have you used CapCut auto captions or anything like that for your captions?
Previously, yes, but I don't like them because it takes my time away and I put colors on it. And it's just like, I mean, again, if you're one of those people that don't really care about views or likes or don't really want to try and level up anything, just throw auto captions on it. Like Instagram has a lot of cool auto captions. I've used CapCut before. That'll take you like 30 minutes.
The CapCut ones are getting pretty good though. You can do the color thing, like you do whatever font you want. Yeah. I'm finding they're getting pretty advanced on there, just for people on a budget. Yeah, have a bit of time.
100%. CapCut's a free app. I tell most people to use CapCut. There's a ton of other AI things and free things online. Instagram there's a ton of free stuff. Just it's all dependent on what you want to do. And let's say you don't want to do any of this video editing stuff, but you find that you have a repetitive task that you do a lot, or you want to try this new thing like collecting contact information or data entry or anything like that. Boom. You now have the principles of hiring someone. So Sean's got a point. CapCut, I'm sure you guys have all heard that. I want to say BAM and stuff probably has a ton of information on CapCut. Yeah. Definitely check that out. And yeah, that's what I got. Is any questions?
I use CapCut for my skits and stuff for the auto captions, right? And I just go through it and I change it up to colors or font or anything spelled wrong, and it only takes about 10-15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I've had a few of those videos hit a couple 100,000, right? So I don't know. I think I do find the Instagram auto captions terrible, so I wouldn't use those. But yeah, I've found the CapCut ones are good if you like have a bit of time and you're not completely useless with technology.
Yeah. So,
but like, if you're getting someone to edit all your videos anyway, you might as well get them to do the captions as well. I'm just talking about a free resource for people that have no money.
Yeah. So on Actually Agents, you all know how he makes these videos that gets, let me show you. This video right here got 1.1 million likes. Motherfucking Luca makes this while he's on the shitter on CapCut. Sorry for the cut, for all the cussing, but I'm like, he made this in 15 minutes on CapCut while he was doing his morning business. Like, that is, CapCut's a free app. He did this entire thing on there. And some people like the authentic content. So just, like I said a little bit earlier, is just do what you enjoy making. Like, if you really enjoy the editing process and you feel like you have a good idea for what scenes to use, especially if you're doing a lot of these skits, keep doing you. If it's working, it's working.
In the chat,
Rich, you got a problem with our skits?
Yeah. No, again, the skits are good because they're authentic. You want them to be authentic. I just prefer.
No, I like your style too, though. I'm doing the stuff with the clothes. I'm doing that style a little bit with humor, with like the pop-up stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's still a great way. Even with humor, it's a great style to use. Yeah,
I see. Andrew is jumping back and forth with his hand. You got.
Oh, sorry. I'm in my car. I haven't been seeing who's asked questions.
Eden Beaver. Is Eden Beaver? Am I botching your name for some reason?
Eden Beaver.
Oh. Okay.
Everybody get it? No. Anyway, so I am curious about like pricing for long form. Say I were to hire a video editor. I know this all applies to long form, but like, what would be an appropriate price range for like a YouTube, like a 10-minute YouTube video? Because it's not the same aesthetic, right? It's not. It's like you're packing a lot into 60 seconds.
Okay, so that's something I'd play with. It just depends. Like, do you want like, if you just like there's some of these transitions which are called film grain, so they're little. There's like a click and it's like a film burn, or like some of these cool transitions and just some captions. Like, if that's all you want on your YouTube video, you don't need to pay that much. But if you want like, dude, I came across this YouTube video. Hopefully my YouTube recommendation doesn't look horrid. It's always embarrassing when you're pulling up something. But, Rockefeller. So, like, let me show you real fast. I watched this video. Sorry. YouTube got rid of ad block. They've like keep blocking my ad blocker. It's super annoying. But like this entire 40-minute video, I'll scroll through it, is completely animated. Like with these simple edits. Like not simple edits, but it's like, this is stuff what your YouTube would, or your Instagram would look like. So if you're doing a full 50-minute video like that, it's going to be pricey. But if you just want like some captions and maybe a few transitions, and you want him to, let's say your YouTube video, you have 2 different cameras, and you want him to piece it together and make it shorter, or let's say you have an hour-long video and you actually only want it to be 10 minutes, like, I don't know the exact pricing structure for YouTube, but I wouldn't say it's proportion to the amount of time in consideration to the 60-second one, because the 60-second one is a lot more intricate of like, you know, you need these fast movements. You need to be really on the dot. You're going pixel by pixel, versus a bigger one is a bit different. So on YouTube, again, you could, I don't know the pricing, and you might have to kind of look it up, but it's going to be cheaper.
It's simpler editing work.
Yeah. Like you're not going to be chopping off a limb and paying for it, in my opinion. You'll be fine. Like, unless you work with some content agency that you found online, like I mentioned, like, dude, some of those 60-second clips, I know, there's this one agency that does these 60-second clips. Let me show you real fast. They're motion graphics, motion effects. So this right here, Danco, really good follow, by the way. If you guys don't follow him, he makes some really great YouTube stuff. Shout out Dan. He is really cool. But he makes these cool, let's see if he's got like one of them. No, makes these cool reels, like these motion graphics. And he does like voiceover on them. Like you might have seen some of these while you're scrolling on Instagram. I know an agency that genuinely charges $400 a video for these 60-second clips. So like my editor, I've been working with him. I'm working towards this. Like you can find an editor and move towards this and probably pay only like 50 to 60 bucks versus 400. So like there's levels to it. You can go the free route where you just throw your own captions onto it, maybe put your own cuts. Might take you 30 minutes to an hour. There's a editor, an agency that frickin' sells your limbs on the black market to pay for these videos. So
for one video.
So that's the big that's how I view it, at least. And for me, I don't like the way it looks when I just have captions. I like some entertaining stuff, and maybe it's just me. I don't like looking at my face that much. So, and I'm not a humorous skit guy. I like to go educational. I think that's where I stand. I'm not off the top with my head. So I usually use a script. So the videos that I like making, the educational, scripted stuff, that's what's really good for these higher edit ones. If I did off the top of my head comedy and I was very comedic and I was doing these skits, like you don't need crazy stuff because the skit is you know, like, yeah. But for me, the education isn't me. The education is like my mind and like the stuff I'm saying. So I don't need to be on my face for it. And again, like, just work with, like, if you want to make a lot of content, and let's say you already do make content and you feel as if, you know, you want to change it up, you feel as if the content you're making right now is just, you're doing it just to do it and you don't really enjoy it. Like, I like the creative process. Mess around with it, see what you like. If
Brian,
what's up?
Sorry, I'm bad at interrupting.
You're good.
What's your opinion on the green screen content, like for informational stuff? Because I've been doing a bit of it, and they've been doing really well on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I do make them funny, but again, I don't know. I just seems like the algorithm's loving the green screen style stuff.
Yeah, no, the green screen stuff is probably your most cost effective and like amazing content, in my opinion. Like if you look at Ricky Carruth, if you look at his reels, sorry, Ricky, but like, dude, all of his educational content just tanks. And then he has these green screen ones, and because he goes up there, he's like, oh, and then he like freaking like talks on the thing. Like, that is, if that's your style and that's the stuff you like that's what you go with. Like, you mess around with it, because a lot of that, the reason that stuff is really good is because it has the usually a headline behind you, and people want to hear from a professional on topics that are trending a lot of times. So like, mess what works. And like, dude, if you post a video and it works really well, like at Actually Agents, when people talk about Actually Agents, they think usually about bottle service girl memes, like just like stupid stuff. He leaned into that content because it worked. He had some bottle service stuff blow up. He leaned into it and it just continues working, and he enjoys making it because it's really funny, in my opinion. What up, Andrew? Or what up, Eden Beaver? Were you gonna say something?
No, did I have my thing up? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Richard in here said, what would you do? I don't know if I already answered this. I'm sorry, I'm just getting to chat. Also, if anyone, before I move forward, I know this is a mastermind, and I've been up here speaking the whole time. Questions, comments, maybe personal experiences or thought processes, or even just anything. It doesn't even need to be correlated to video editing. It can be just hiring. If you want to ask me something about, like, if you have a task that you think you want to delegate, best way to go about that, anything, the people in here will probably get value from it. So feel free to either type in chat, unmute, chime in, anything like that.
If anybody's trying to think of ideas of like stuff they could make videos about, if you rewind 2 masterminds to 2 weeks ago when Dan McKinnon was on, and he walked us through Google Trends and I think Google keywords and ask the public or answer the public.
Yep.
Those are 3 things you can redo to get ideas of things you could talk about that people are looking up right now.
Yeah, 100%.
And again, back to green screen too. That's endless topics. If you have no content, go look at a news article that's popular right now. Green screen it.
Yeah. I have Google. I don't even know what it's called. I have a thing set up where it just automatically emails me every morning at 10 a.m. with every single news article that mentions London, Ontario, so I can read through it.
That's cool. Because one thing I saw one time, if I just look up mortgage rates, and you go to, well, this isn't Google. You go to news. Google has a news section as well. So you could look up London, Ontario events. Like, let's say your weekly newsletter is about events. You could look at London, Ontario events on Google, go to the news tab. You could filter by date. So mortgage rates. I mean, there's an article every minute on mortgage rates, but there's a ton today. Dude, if you're short on content, green screen, do it. I like it on my stories because I usually talk about my newsletter on there. But green screen is huge. Just throw captions on it, either Instagram edited ones or CapCut ones. Sometimes I forget, but you want to.
And if you don't mind paying a couple bucks, and you know that you want to read something or you want to make a video, but you know you're going to forget what you're talking about immediately, like there's an app called Captions app. You can put what you want to say on your screen and then look at your camera and record it, then download it into the Captions app, and it'll take your eyes from looking at the screen to make them look at the camera. I think it's like $5 a month.
Also, CapCut's great for that too, to just clip out the ums and ahs. So you can literally do, if you mess up your words, just cut that out. Like it's for green screen and quick reels. It's okay if you like zoom in and out and do all this crazy stuff. I've been doing a couple of them. Like, I'm not trying to boost myself or like get promotions here, but like watch mine what I'm doing. Like those were done in like 15 takes, some of them, right? And I just edit it and cut it out.
Ryan, I've been looking for something. I'm trying to figure out for this video edit. I don't mind paying and hiring someone, but it's a lot of layering and it's based on an original viral trend. It actually fully relates to work, but I've refilmed it. I'm having some difficulties editing it myself.
Is it the I'm a mortgage broker? We'll lower your rate when you give us an estimate, or is it one of those? Are those viral or what?
No, something a little bit different. We can talk about it one-on-one just because I want it to be a little bit more of a surprise.
Okay.
But it was an assignment that was given to me by our head office too, and I'm just trying to get through the editing of it. But there's like sections where I clap and things cut in and out, and I want to layer in another video, the original video with mine. Is there a way that you and I could connect, or do you have like a list off the top of your head of editors that I could speak to about this? Again, like I don't mind paying them, but I'm having difficulties trying to filter through everything because usually I do the simple
shoot me a message.
Myself.
Yeah, shoot me a message.
Awesome.
I'll go through it.
Awesome. Yeah.
You can reach me on Instagram. I think I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, we follow one another on Instagram. Perfect. I'll reach out so that we can connect. But yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more there, and then maybe you'll be able to guide me more specifically.
Perfect.
But I need to find someone to do it. And going through these Fiverr and all these apps, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Potentially even help me with this.
No, I'm happy to help out. Yeah, shoot me a message, especially if it's a one-off thing.
You.
Real quick, Richard talked about his content. Someone said keep doing you. I know you do these cool skits and with these videos and stuff, but I just want to see what I have any thought process.
I only told Richard to keep doing him because his are very specific.
Yeah.
So I would say either find a guy that you pay for all the time, like my retainer, But if that's on the budget, I would like, I don't know, like his are very similar style, like they're his style that he does. So you'd have to find someone to do like to copy that kind of premise.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how this is edited, but it seems like it's definitely scripted out, and you know what you're going to do, and you know that the scenes that you're going to piece into it. So an editor might not be that well. Now, on the retainer topic, I do have a problem with consistency. I tend to be I've jumped around a lot, different ventures, and like that's one of the reasons that I don't have a lot of content on is because I just started a new venture like about 2 months or so ago. So that is why my content has been pieced off to the side. But and a retainer would be hard. So you can go video by video. But anyway, like this, for instance, I don't know if you're going to get much value from an editor on your videos unless you're filming these without the specific scenes in mind. Like, let's say you film these and you sit down and you like, okay, now how do I piece the scenes together? Editor would be good for that. The only thing the editor might be able to help on is your you might put different captions on and do it in a different way, but really, I would say
you might be able to use an editor to help you green screen faster, Richard, because you do a lot of green screen. Like if they just do the green screening for you, then you put what you want in. But you're gonna end up just going through the editor like so much of what you want. You're gonna spend so much time doing that. I don't know if it's gonna be worth the price for you.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I hired an editor for my last one. I ended up just freaking doing it. I haven't even posted it yet because he just didn't do it how I wanted it. I wanted it a very specific way.
Yeah, so, that's why you got to look at it. You got to be testing a few different editors. You got to find the one you like, and you got to build with him on that. Because eventually they start to know what style you like.
Yeah. So. I mean, there's a lot of time where I'm finding the story through editing. Like I have a basic concept in mind and I get the raw footage, and then somehow I find the story while editing.
Do you mind me asking, how long do you think you take to find that story in editing?
Each one of my videos, I would say on average, I take about 4 hours to edit.
Yeah. So,
but I tend to do it like off times or while like my wife and I are watching TV. So it's
do you use color correction, Richard?
Sometimes. I normally
that's
fix
an editor would be good too though. Like color correction, captions, green screen, the little things. It could save you a couple hours, right? But like the ultimate premise will still be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would if you're saying you're spending a lot of that time and it does kind of have your own style to it and you're doing it off times, and if you enjoy doing it, like I don't enjoy editing. I really don't enjoy it. Like I don't think I'm good at it, and I think it's tedious. And that's honestly posts. Keep doing. Now find you are so busy, you hate doing this, you no longer like spending 4 hours on editing, you are procrastinating, you are putting it off months. Might be time for a change. That's how
I do enjoy kind of the editing process. It's not a chore by any means. Sometimes the filming part is more the chore than the editing part.
Then
and that I can't really hire out.
Then I'd say keep doing you personally.
Thanks, bud.
So
yeah, I like editing my skits, but like editing down the mastermind, that's someone I would love to hire someone for, because that's a lot more tedious.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like there's a happy medium there, I guess, too, right, with what you're doing.
Yep, you can 100% do that. Like if you want, I know there's apps to cut down the short form into it, but let's say with this, the faces on it are not as high quality. You can have an editor that's better at filling in the gaps with different and animations. On is 3 pixels by 3 pixels of someone's face. So,
yeah, and I also just downloaded a pretty good app for clearing crappy video. What the hell is it called here? It's called High Quality. For clearing up old footage and stuff. It's been doing a pretty good job. cleaning up your video.
Yep. I just realized
it's kind of pricey though if you're doing a longer one. But
sorry, I cut you off. I was gonna say I just realized we ran over an hour, so apologize on that one. I don't know if you guys have a hard stop or if there's any other questions.
They always end up going an hour. I don't care how long they go. I just mean for editing, it's harder to run through it all. But I just speed through it now on like 2 times.
Yeah.
Like when I re-listen to them, right? Find clips, so it's all good.
Got it.
Yeah. Cool story, Sean.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Anyone else got something? Anyone else want to let me look at their Instagram profile and I'll give you my take on if I think an editor will help you?
Yeah, can you watch my recent Home Alone video and tell me if you think it's fun? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Want the clout. Boom. Think we're good.
Cool. I think we're good. Ryan, thank you so much for doing this for us. This was amazing.
Perfect. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. My Instagram. This is my personal. Let me go to my main one.
You're the best, Ryan.
Let me I'm showing you my Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Or if you're thinking you want to do something new and you want a take on how to edit or how to hire someone on something different, like I said, a lot of these sometimes, like for instance, the skits, you're not going to want to hire an editor, but keep this playbook in mind for when you do want to make a hire online, whether you need someone to follow up for your leads or whatever that is. Like if you make that hire online and you have this email marketing you want to do and you need someone to, let's say your broker doesn't let you copy your CRM emails over into or download them and you need to copy them one by one because your broker's a messed up piece of crap, then dude, take what I put in this ebook, put some SOPs together, find a person that'll just do some data entry. And that is the most valuable part of this entire thing. And I have saved countless hours and I'll continue to save countless hours on tedious tasks that I don't want to do. So all it takes is if you want to, you can even on those SOPs, instead of writing it down, I had ones where I'll like go step by step written, but you can jump on a camera for 5 minutes and say, okay, I need you to copy this and copy it over here and put it here and put it here. Then that's all you need to do. And the editor and the person you're hiring knows what to do. So if you got any takeaway from this, don't view it as the video editing, view it as this is a skill set that I can use to hire anyone that I think the job can be done online. And if your time is worth more than $10 an hour, then you probably do it. So.
And if any of you guys need some help with Fiverr, I use it religiously for like everything in my videos. So reach out to me for that too. I haven't used Upwork yet, but I'm going to check it out. But Fiverr, I'm a pro at.
Yeah, I've used Fiverr before. Fiverr's good too. So perfect. You got Sean and I's resources, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Sorry if I ramble and I talk a lot.
No, we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Chris, awesome, I picked up a top hat at Kane.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
Oh,
yeah, you guys are filming content today?
Yeah, I'm on my way to our house. We're doing